Therefore, we, the inheritors of and successors to this family of islands, recognizing the supremacy of God and believing in the fundamental rights and freedoms of the individual, do hereby proclaim in solemn praise the establishment of a free and democratic sovereign nation founded on spiritual values and in which no man, woman, or child shall ever be slave or bondsman to anyone, or their labor exploited, or their lives frustrated by deprivation, and do hereby provide by these articles for the indivisible unity and creation under God of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Akushla Pinder, filling in for LaDon Davis, and welcome to the morning edition. It's always good having you with us. To get things started, we'll get the latest on the weather from Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good morning, Basil.
This weather report is sponsored by Bank of the Bahamas, the bank of solutions.
Good morning, Makusha. We're going to get you started with our satellite picture. We have this frontal boundary that's approaching us, and that will bring some more showers during the morning hours, but we expect things to start clearing up in the afternoon. So for those junior junkaners, it looks as though things are going to be pretty much okay. You will have some cool temperatures to rush in, by the way. Outside of our studios, cloudy skies, temperature at 72 degrees, relative humidity very rich at 88%, south-southwest winds at 8 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,011.3 millibars. That's 29.86 inches, and your pressure is falling. Temperatures around the islands this morning: 63 degrees in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, 70 in Green Atoll Key, Freeport at 70 degrees, in the Berry Islands 73, Allenstown, Bimini at 74, 74 is also in Harper Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera, Otterstown, Cat Island 75, 73 in Staniel Key, that's in the Exuma chain, Kemps, Bay South Andros, Freshwick and Central Andros all at 73, in San Salvador and Rim Key 75 degrees there. More 75s in Ragged Island, Clarence Town, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, and Acklands. A little warmer in Matchitown and Agua at 77 degrees. The Turks and Caicos Islands also at 77 degrees. And if you're flying out this morning, well, here are some high and low temperatures you're likely to find at some of your favorite cities. That's going to do it for your travel forecast. Now for your boating forecast for today, for all areas, we expect the winds to blow out of the west to northwest. Behind that front, the speeds will be picking up 12 to 18 knots a little later on. Wave heights building 3 to 6 feet over the ocean. The high tide, that will take place at 11:16 this morning, with your low tide at 5:39 in the afternoon. And that's going to do it for your first look at weather, the morning edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Well, you're looking at a view of Paradise Island. You can see a little traffic there. Meantime, Antoine Smith and the Morning Edition team standing by with the Bahamas First Traffic Report.
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Good morning, Makushla, and a pleasant good morning to you, Bahamas. Your Thursday morning traffic report comes to you live from right here on Bay Street. We're just a little ways off Frederick Street already. We've seen a few commuters come down this way, but this area is going to be insanely busy as the day goes on, and we'll tell you why. So the greatest parade on earth, the junior version that is set to kick off tonight. And joining us to talk about the traffic diversions that are going to take place because of that and all things in regards to traffic is Sergeant Jerron Thompson of the Royal Bahamas Police Traffic Division. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning to you. Good morning, Bahamas.
Okay, so before we get into the nitty-gritty of the traffic diversions, were there any outstanding incidents happening overnight?
Yes, we had a total of 22 crashes in the last 24-hour period. 6 of those involved crashes with injuries. We had 2 hit-and-run accidents.
Now, you said something to me earlier. You said we are seeing a substantial decrease in hit-and-run accidents. Why do you think that is?
I believe it is a direct result of the police presence on the road. I guess as you would see from day to day, we have a number of officers conducting road checks at different points in the island. Those shortcuts for persons with unlicensed vehicle and persons without driver's license like to take, you will meet the police there. So, and once we find you that you don't have a driver's license or don't have any insurance and you be arrested, it is a deterrent for those persons that would get involved in accidents and would run away from accidents. So I attribute that to our police presence on the streets.
Well, it seems the message of that is hammering home to those commuters and those drivers. But we want you to get this message today. What are the traffic diversions taking place in this area? What do I need to be aware of if I'm going to come down this street tonight?
As you mentioned, there's the Junior Jump Canoe parade that's going to be held this afternoon at 6 p.m. We're going to close traffic starting from the Market Street corridor, Market and Bay Street. You won't be able to travel beyond Market Street, and there'll be no parking between Market Street and East Street. And East Street, that is, sorry. So as you can see behind us, you have parking on either side of the street. Once we close the road at 4:30, we're going to need persons to remove their vehicles because we're going to be here. We're going to have a strong police presence here. And our people from traffic, we're going to be here. So if you at any of these points, in between those points, after 4:30 p.m., we're going to have your vehicle towed. So we advise persons in this area to please remove your vehicles because they have a ceremony that is going to be starting at 5 p.m. Prior to the Junior Jump Canoe celebration at 6 p.m.
For persons who think that they may be able to park behind us right here on the wharf side, is that possible? Can you speak a little bit to that?
It won't be possible unless you would have parked before 4:30 p.m. Once you park there, you wouldn't be able to move until the Junior Jump Canoe is completed because there'll be no access to the wharf after 4:30 p.m. And I don't know how you're going to be able to get off the wharf because all the streets are going to be closed and we're not going to allow you on this thoroughfare.
Now, there are always some persons who sort of like to think they can take the loophole and slip through the traffic. For those persons, what is your message to them?
Yeah, they can run that test. They'll see how quickly and swiftly they'll be roped up. We'll report them, have their vehicle towed, and deal with them in a necessary manner. We are aware that places like the Challenger system, the safety system work, and we're here to let you know that if you want to have that check and balance, you'll see how it works.
What are some of the fines if I was feeling, big in my new car? What are some of the fines that I would incur if I tried to, test you guys tonight?
Well, like I said, we'll have traffic diversions, and once you get in a certain area, we ask you to leave and you don't want to leave, that's failing to remove a vehicle when requested by police, and that's a $150 fine.
One last question. Can you give us a time? I know you said traffic diversions start at around 4. What time can we expect that to end?
As soon as the parade ends. I think the parade is scheduled to end at 12 midnight. You have to get those kiddies back in their bed for school tomorrow. So about 12 midnight.
Any message you want to leave for the drivers and the commuters on the road today?
Yes, persons that have to travel to the bridge and the eastern area have used alternative routes. You could use Wolf Road once you could come around the parade. So use these different arteries to get to your various destinations on the eastern side of the island.
All right, well, if you're as excited as I am for the biggest parade on earth, the junior version that is, we'll take note of the different traffic diversions because you don't want to miss this. You want to be in place when this happens. You don't want to be trying to find a parking spot because you didn't listen. So thank you, Sergeant Thompson, for those words of advice. For now, from Bay Street, I'm Antoinette Smith. Back to you in the studio, Makushla.
Well, thanks, Anthony. Certainly some good information there. Now on to our top story this morning. The good news is that the government's keeping a long-held promise. Given Hurricane Dorian's substantive blow to the local economy and the need to maintain private consumption levels, there will be no additional taxes, at least not right now. The bad news, the over $200 million in lost revenue and subsequent increased expenditure has not only led to a need for additional borrowings, but the deficit will increase by approximately $677.5 million to 5.3% of GDP. This, of course, exceeds the 2019-2020 budget target of $137 million. Then there's this.
Taking the financing requirements into consideration, the level of government debt is therefore anticipated to increase from the projected $7,612 million at the outset of the budget year to $8,204.5 million, or some 64.4% of GDP. Mr. Speaker, it is the government's intention to maintain a very close tracking of expenditure and revenue in the coming months to determine the extent to which we can realize savings from the revised fiscal positions we are presenting.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Peter Turnquist, further explained that to cover the cost associated with Dorian and the spending his government's faced with, $507.9 million in new financing will be sourced through a number of potential facilities, including
the $100 million IDB contingent credit line, of which $80 million is likely to be drawn down, a $50 million loan from the Caribbean Development Bank, up to $200 million and a club loan from a consortium of domestic bank lenders, and the remaining $177.9 million will be sourced by way of other instruments. These sources, which I've identified, will be supplemented with $20 million from the Dormant Account Fund and the $12.8 million payout from the Caribbean Catastrophic Risk Insurance Fund, which together with the $507.9 million in borrowing will cover the $540.7 million required in new financing.
Well, at this point, the Bahamas is still in the clear. Health Minister, the Honourable Dr. Dwayne Sands, reporting in the House of Assembly Wednesday that so far there have been no suspected or reported cases of the novel coronavirus. That aside, officials are ensuring the country is prepared to respond in the event there is a case, as even one case, he says, would be detrimental.
Building on the foundations of our preparedness efforts for SARS, H1N1, and Ebola, the Ministry of Health is able to promptly jump into action to prepare for 2019 NCOV and has been meeting and planning our response from early last week. The leaders and technical staff of the Ministry of Health have met, were briefed, and tasked with responsibilities to ensure that necessary measures are in place to monitor, detect, and contain the spread of this virus if it reaches our shores.
A one-time cabinet minister is considering making a return to frontline politics. At this point, Hope Strachan says she's still in the consideration stage, but it's something she's taking very seriously.
Politics, I think, is in my blood. You know, every day I'm just sort of lapping up everything that's happening around me politically, as well, not only locally, but also internationally. And I think for me, there's also this burning desire to see how I can improve something, even if it's just in a little way. So I think that I'm leaning towards it. Naturally, of course, I will be with my, my party. I believe in my Progressive Liberal Party.
Strachan, a former Minister of Financial Services and Local Government, says she wants to know she'll be able to make a difference.
I'm really, really concerned and genuinely concerned, and it's not only to do with politics. I'm very much genuinely concerned about the future of our country and the future of our country for our children and our grandchildren.
When the Morning Edition returns, we'll share with you how a special group is helping to rebuild Grand Bahama from a business perspective.
The Ministry of Health wishes to advise members of the public that prevention is key during this flu season. Practicing good cough hygiene can make the difference between you and your loved ones getting the flu or spreading the influenza virus. Good cough hygiene habits include covering your mouth and nose with a tissue when coughing or sneezing, and proper disposal of the tissue in a trash bin. Coughing or sneezing into your upper sleeve near your inner elbow and not your hands when a tissue is not available. Avoiding the use of handkerchiefs and towels as they hold germs, becoming a nest for the virus. And frequently washing your hands with soap and water, which is listed as one of the most important steps you can take to avoid getting sick and passing the virus on to others. If you have any questions about how to practice good cough hygiene to avoid catching or spreading the flu, contact your nearest community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
The Cacique Award honors persons who have demonstrated the highest level of achievement in the tourism and hospitality sector.
I nominate my granddaddy because tourism is his passion. Every day he drives his taxi and shows our visitors why it is truly better in the Bahamas.
Honoring straw vendors, hoteliers, musicians, artists, photographers, airlines, and so much more. Nominate your choice today. Visit CaciqueAwards.com or your local tourism office. The 18th Cacique Awards will be held May 23rd, 2020, showing the world the Bahamas is still rocking.
And the Cacique Award.
And the Cacique Award goes to...
Bahamians to understand that national parks are simply land and marine areas reserved for their environmental and cultural importance, so that Bahamians will be able to sustainably use, benefit from, and enjoy these resources now and in the future.
Welcome back to the Morning Edition. A worthy cause is being mounted to help businesses in Grand Bahama bounce back from the ravages of Hurricane Dorian. One who has dedicated many years helping to uplift that community and serving as an international coach, Baroness Angelica von Canal Christie joins us in studio to tell us about this major initiative. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Edition. First of all, share with us the drive behind this project that is moving this year to New Providence.
The drive has really been that I have been in Freeport. I have been living in Freeport for over 40 years. So I have been experiencing the ups and the downs. And Dorian has really had such a devastating effect on the business community. I am a coach. I am a thought leader. I have been doing retreats and workshops in Freeport, and success through proper etiquette was actually staged in Freeport last year in May, and it was an incredible success. I wanted to have about 30 people, and 45 showed up, and they were saying, we need this, we want more of this. So after Dorian, of course, we could not have it in Freeport nor in Abaco, which we really decided to do in November. So we had to scratch that. But I said, let's bring it to Nassau and make it a fundraiser to help some of the businesses. And we have it earmarked for 2 businesses on Grand Bahama who lost everything, to put them back on their feet.
Now, the program focuses heavily on etiquette. How important is that not only in one's personal life, but in business as well?
Yes, there is this misconception that etiquette only has to do with table manners, but it's so much more. Yes, table manners are important because when you are at a banquet or you're at a business meeting and, a dinner or a luncheon is part of it, and you don't know how to eat properly, or how to use your utensils, or how to eat certain foods. And there are some difficult foods that you need to know how to eat. You lose your attraction, because it's not just what you know, but how you present yourself. And that's why etiquette is so important. And of course, in communication, etiquette is important in networking, in business communication, and of course also in your personal life. If you want to upgrade your social standing, then you need to know how to be fully in your own body, be present, be memorable, be magnetic, because we are attracted to people who have this special energy. We say magnetism, and it comes from that inner security, the confidence that you know what to do and what to say in any situation.
Now, we know the program is a 2-day event and will serve as a fundraiser for businesses in Grand Bahama. How critical is this aid for that Northern Island?
It is critical, and I understand that, yes, there is so much has already happened in way of fundraising, and we are so grateful for this. And this is a small event, so we cannot raise hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, so it will be small. But it is focused on 2 businesses that even if we raise $10,000, it would help them tremendously. So this is why the meet and greet, which is actually this evening at the Sopadilla restaurant, is fully a fundraiser, non-profit. And our patron is no other than our First Lady, Mrs. Menes.
Now, share with us the plan for what's being dubbed a gala evening of glitz and glamour.
We are going to have, of course, a fundraiser means you need to give something away. So we will have an auction. We'll have 2 different kinds of auctions. And we will have, of course, the restaurant, or this venue, the Sopadilla, is known for its excellent food and drink. So all of this will be available to those who come. And there will be entertainment. And we have a DJ, and we have just invited so many incredible people that it will be, for anybody who comes, it will be also an opportunity to make a connection. We have, for example, somebody who came, our main sponsor comes from California, and he will be there, Tony Silver, and his business is home repair. So when he saw the devastation in 2 buildings and 2 businesses, he said, even though it will not profit his business probably, but he wanted to help, because he knows what can happen if you lose even your place of business, and have to rebuild. So he will be there, and we have other sponsors that we are so grateful, like the CBC, Caribbean Bottling Company, yes, Batelco, and we have Bahamas Mortgage Corporation, yes, and who else? I think those are our major sponsors. So we are so grateful that they help us to put this on, because it's an expensive event to put on.
I know tomorrow you move into the master training event. Yes. What's being offered there, and what are the benefits for participants?
The benefits are you really learn. You get the tools, and you will be surprised what you think you know, but you didn't know, even in table manners, and how to communicate, how to resolve conflict, for example, in a way that is that doesn't break the bridge, but actually build relationships and bridges. How to be rather than trying to have something in order to do something and then to be something. How to be first and then do and then have. That's something that is very, very important. how you move, your gait, your walk, how you present yourself. Also, your attire is important. And so we have a lot of points that we will touch. And of course, my co-host, Marianne Parker, who is known as the Queen of Etiquette, and she is hired by major luxury companies like Maserati and Rolls-Royce, and to bring their middle and upper management to that level where they just dominate the market because they stand out. If you know your etiquette and if you are comfortable within yourself, then you are, you are memorable, you stand out, and you will be the chosen one because competition is everywhere today, really.
And lastly, how can the public support this major fundraising event?
Tickets are still available, and they are available at online, of course. And if you go to Facebook, we have an event page there. And they are also available right to pick up at the boutique is called My Wish List, and it's at Shops on Bay Street. Shops at Bay Street, yeah. Yes, Shops at Bay Street. Tickets are still available. The general admission is $249. That includes a 3-course gourmet meal. That's at the hotel. The ticket for the evening is $100 for tonight. And the VIP, you can get the ticket that includes both, and that's the VIP ticket, and that's $497, and it includes everything, and it's for a really good cause.
Well, thanks so much, Baroness, for joining us this morning on The Morning Edition. Well, executives of the Bahamas Insurance Association are pleased with the industry's response to Hurricane Dorian and say they're committed to assisting residents to a return to a state of normalcy in those areas where they can. Acting President Anton Seeley on the financial impact to the sector.
We expect to pay up in excess of $1.5 billion, and it could go as high as $2.2 billion, depending on when it all shakes out. But that is based on projections by our membership, and I feel that, and we feel, and we're quite confident in that number. The insurance industry, as we've indicated, has been around in the Bahamas for a very long time, plays a major is a major contributor to the economy of the Bahamas, and in my personal view, has been one that's been underappreciated. People are not very complimentary of the insurance industry, but at the end of the day, we cannot exist without insurance.
Well, it seems more and more families are returning to Abaco, heightening the demand for infrastructure, more specifically classrooms. Director of Education Marcellus Taylor says while schools in the southern region are highly functioning, a lack of infrastructure still presents a major challenge in central Abaco. And while students in the northern region await their school repairs and makeshift classrooms, the Department of Education is looking for a solution to address the disparity between students and teachers.
It seems like every day more students are returning to Abaco, and so therefore our efforts are scaling up as that occurs. We're having a challenge because, you know, some teachers who were posted in Abaco pre the storm have been redeployed here for their convenience because of, you know, the situation. But then they're not necessarily ready to return at this point. Some of them, you know, I guess, want to kind of finish this academic year here. But for those who are willing and able to return to Abaco, we are trying to get them to go because we need the teacher force to match the student enrollment.
Concerns also expressed about how student survivors will be facilitated for the upcoming BJC and BGCSE examinations. Both Abaco and Grand Bahama students would have lost a considerable amount of school time due to Dorian's destruction. However, Taylor says they remedied that problem for the most part.
What we've done with secondary level students is we have employed virtual learning platforms. So we have a site here in New Providence where we have a group of 12 teachers, I think it's 12 or 13, who provide virtual learning, and we created a new site in Grand Bahama with teachers there to also provide learning and tutelage to students in the Abaco area who have been displaced or, you know, otherwise affected by the storm.
Ever wanted to play in an escape? Well, now you have a chance. This morning, Antoine Smith introduces us to the owner of the first escape room here in the Bahamas.
Some would say it's like that of the scene from this Hollywood blockbuster movie. But instead, this here escape room is rooted in reality.
Expect our walls to move in on them and maybe we attack them, but that doesn't happen here. It's been a unique experience just to try to explain to people that it's not a scary experience. It is just it's bringing a movie to life.
Tony McCoy is the owner of Blackbeard's Escape, a real-time puzzle where players are transported to the Bahamas years before their time.
So we take you back to the year of 1718, and Woodes Rogers is governor of the Bahamas. Blackbeard hides up in a shelter and has decided that it's time to make his escape. So he then goes to the harbor to prepare the ship. He wants fellow pirates to come and help him get the treasure and get out. Unfortunately, the British soldiers know where the hideout is.
Together, team players have 60 minutes to find the clues, unlock chests, and solve the riddle to escape the room. It sounds intense, but you can always ring the bell for a clue. Escape rooms like this have become a worldwide sensation over the past few years, as interest continues to grow among persons who are just plain curious about its mystery and thrill. However interesting, the game also acts as an intense brain work, and even further, a foolproof tool for building camaraderie.
Screens and everything else kind of pull us apart. And we have a really unique thing that happens in an escape room where you're put in the situation here, you're put into the 1718, and it's Blackbeard's lair, and you all have to work together, because if you don't, you're going to jail. So all of a sudden you have to talk to each other, and everybody has their different parts. It might mean nothing to you, but it might mean everything to your teammates. So
now much of the Nassau-based escape room mirrors Bahamian history and culture, and that's just one reason why McCoy thinks the game has caught on so fast in the 1 year it's been open.
I think that the important part for the escape room really is that it unifies everybody and it brings everybody together. So that's always been part of Bahamian history to me, and just spending time together that's nothing but fun. And that's what we are all about here.
Now, the only question that remains is, can you escape the room? Antoine Smith, ZNS Network News.
Well, the Health Ministries of the Seventh-day Adventist Church is once again stepping in to assist residents get in shape as the new year begins. In a few days, the 8-week wellness program kicks off, but you still have time to join. We have with us this morning Director of the Health Ministries of the South Bahamas Conference, Nathlyn Lacroix. Welcome to the morning edition. You're now in your 15th year of the wellness program. How effective has it been so far?
Good morning. The program has been going very, very effective. We have had about approximately 2,500 persons who have passed through the program. We are actually 15 years old this year. The program was born out of a need to empower not only church members but also persons from the community with the skills and tools that is needed for behavior change. You know, sometimes persons might be overweight, they might be using drugs in the form of alcohol, cigarettes, and they just don't know what to do to help themselves. And so this is why the program was instituted, to help persons take better care of their body temples. The program is scheduled to start on Monday, May 3rd, and it will be held at the New Providence Seventh-day Adventist Church. We normally met at the Bahamas Academy gym on Wolf Road, but of course that's being used to house the victims out of Abaco and also some persons out of Freeport. So we're going to be at one of our churches on Stoldy Road. Persons can expect a lot of good, positive benefits from enrolling in this program. We have a lot of persons who are overweight, but this is not a program that focuses strictly on weight loss. You know, being overweight is one of the greatest risk factors to the non-communicable diseases, pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, heart disease, etc. And so we are encouraging persons to come and enroll in this program. It's basically gratis. It's a one-time $50 donation just to help buy supplies to help to run the program. What persons can expect to do in this program. The program actually runs for 8 consecutive weeks, and we only meet once per week. Some persons think that we meet every day. No, it's just once per week from 6 to 8 every Monday. And what persons can expect to do is 6 to 6:30, we have exercise. 6:30 to 7, preliminaries, incentives. 7:30, we have someone come in to do a presentation on different topics: cancer prevention, managing NCDs, backyard gardening. That's very, very important, you know. Basically, what we eat gets into our bloodstream, and it determines the level of wellness. And so we have someone coming in to talk about the importance of growing your own food. Lots of other topics. And of course, the coaching, that's an important part of the program also. We're going to divide the persons into groups of 10, and each group would have 2 coaches. We're going to have buddy system, so persons would be able to call each other to see how they're coming. Example, if someone is having challenge getting to bed on time, I would call them, or someone else would call them from the group and say, hey, are you in bed yet? Did you drink your water? Did you go out and walk this morning? You know, movement is very pivotal to wellness. So there's a buddy system. We're going to make them accountable. And so each week you come back, you would give a report to your group.
Now, I know you're also the proprietor of Holistic Lifestyle. How critical are initiatives of this kind in today's society?
It's very, very critical. We have a serious epidemic going on right now in terms of illness. And it's not only among the adults, but also the children. And the same high numbers that are coming up with the pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, it's also showing up in our children, so it's very, very, very critical. I was reading something the other day at a seminar, and about 89% of the population is overweight. That's really, really high. And you know that being overweight is the biggest risk factor to every disease. And so it's very critical. What we do at Holistic Lifestyle also is to encourage persons to take better care of their body temples. Prevention is better than cure, and also cheaper. And so exercise, drink your water, get to bed on time, eat wholesome, and just try to incorporate healthy lifestyle change. Another big thing that is going on, if I have time, is diabetes. Some persons have been diagnosed with diabetes. I'm also a diabetes educator, and we will have diabetes educators as part of the program, and also medical doctors. The doctor would have prescribed a certain amount of medication, insulin, also oral medication, and persons do not know how to take it. Sometimes they would come in and you would ask, hey, what instructions did your doctor give you? Well, take the medication once a day. What does that mean? Well, when do you take your medication if he said once a day? Well, sometimes I take it in the morning, sometimes I take it in the afternoon. Once a day means every 24 hours. Twice a day means every 12 hours. And so you have persons who are taking their medication randomly, and they're getting highs and lows. And so we would teach persons about all of that.
Now, I understand that persons can still sign up for the initiative?
Yes, definitely. We have a registration that will be taking place tonight. All persons enrolling in the 8 Weeks to Wellness program has to be pre-screened. We do a pre-screening and also a pro-screening just to see, you know, how the numbers would have dropped. And so the screening and registration for this evening is going to be held at the New Providence Seventh-day Adventist Church on Soldier Road, just across from Superwash. We check your cholesterol, pressure, sugar, weight, waist circumference, and ask about health, about lifestyle choices. What time you get to bed, how much water you're drinking, are you eating fruits and vegetables, etc. So we can have a better idea to know how to help these persons. And so that is going to be at 4:30 this evening, 4:30 to 6:30, and then again on Sunday from 3 to 5. If you're coming to be a part of the program, you must register, and you also must pre-screen.
What's the goal of the program moving forward?
The goal of the program is to heighten the awareness and the importance of keeping yourselves well. Being sick is no fun. You know, when God created us, the plan was for us to live eternally. But of course, after sin, that all changed. So the plan is to help those who are already diagnosed with chronic ailments, help them to manage it better, and also to help persons who are knowingly well to keep well. So prevention and management.
Well, some vital information there from Ms. Lacroix. Stay with the Morning Edition. Final preparations for Junior Junkanoo. We have a live update coming up.
Latest news and highlights in Bahamian culture. Tune in to the new Junkanoo 242, Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. on the ZNS Radio and Television Network. Radio Bahamas 1540 a.m. on 104.5 FM and TV 13. Each week, host Arlene Nash Ferguson and Darren Bastian engages listeners with some of the movers and shakers of Junkanoo and Bahamian culture. Don't miss Junkanoo 242, Saturday at 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. on the ZNS Radio and Television Network.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, your hottest place on the planet for rims, tints, tires, and auto sales. We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Track Lights, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king. Blessed love.
Did you know that 1 in every 3 women worldwide have experienced intimate partner or non-partner sexual violence in their lifetime? It's not a topic that we talk about often. We like to pretend that it doesn't happen to our sisters, our mothers, aunts, and people we know. We need to have the conversation. Get help. Know the signs. Say no to violence against women.
Every dream.
You're with the Morning Edition. The funeral service business is a $1 million industry. Members of the industry can loosely be classified under 3 categories: cemetery owners and operators, funeral homes and manufacturers of burial and memorial products. Still, it's common for companies to span multiple lines of business, combining, for example, funeral home and cemetery operations. Curtis Memorial Mortuary operator Randy Curtis explains that remembering the purpose of a funeral is key. And while some funeral homes have gone on the limb to assist families, he says this may have come to the detriment of the industry's reputation.
In all professions, there are genuine persons, genuine practitioners, and then there are, for a colloquial term, hackers. And the way a family is treated during bereavement depends on if you deal with a professional or you deal with a hacker. Professional persons are persons who would have been trained academically and would have served an apprenticeship in the care and management of a deceased person with training in grief management.
Now, Curtis says not all funeral homes are created equally.
The average funeral home shopper now looks for cost. And cost has become a major determination in funeral service in this country. Fortunately or unfortunately, the profession now suffers because the international providers for funeral homes in the Bahamas have technically blacklisted Bahamian funeral homes in terms of credit.
We now take you over to the northern Bahamas for news on the cruise industry there.
And
An historic day for the island of Grand Bahama, as the first Bahamian crew member of the MSC Cruise Line was welcomed on board the MSC Divinia. In 2015, the governments of the Bahamas and MSC entered into an agreement which would provide employment for Bahamians. However, the program never got off the ground. Some 5 years later, and Captain Pietro Sarcinella says he is pleased to have the first Bahamian crew member on board the ship.
It's just a matter to integrate also your people to our group. I'm sure that it will be very comfortable for them because we are habit for that. So we will make them to feel very comfortable on board. They will have all our assistance, and they will learn how to deal with the guests on the cruise vessel, which is also very interesting for them. They will really enjoy the time that they spend on board. Of course, it's a job, so there will be a lot of things to do, and they cannot just assume to come here and have a vacation on the cruise vessel. There will be a job to do, but there will be also a lot of activities for them.
Cruise Director Anna Warner says that future employees can look forward to a diverse work atmosphere.
We're so happy and excited to have our first Bahamian co-worker on board. We're looking forward to have a great partnership, and of course even seeing more and more of your people being here together with us to add the special flavor. As I told already, we have about 60 different nationalities on board, but still nobody from the Bahamas. So this is a great opportunity, and we're looking forward to get even more and more talented people to work with us.
Office Manager in the Office of the Prime Minister, Lady Naomi Wallace Whitfield, noting that this partnership is expected to provide some 220 jobs specifically for Grand Bahamians. She says the goal is to have all positions filled by 2021.
We started out with 17 who got letters of intent. When they went through the training, some didn't pass, so the successful candidates are now getting their post, and they're getting on board. As soon as they get their post, they send their tickets, and they're onboarded. We were fortunate that they were in Freeport today, so Raymond was able to join.
Now, Raymond Culmer is the first lucky Bahamian to join the team. He says that while the training was intense, he is excited about the opportunity.
We had training with the Defense Force, we had training with the fire department, we had different professionals came in to teach us security and how to manage and work on a ship. So that was pretty exciting. Well, I decided to join. Believe it or not, you hear of vision boards, and about 10 years ago, I had on my vision board that I wanted to go on a cruise. I've never been on a cruise anywhere, not even locally, and all of a sudden now here I'm working now on the greatest cruise ship going, MSC Divinia, and I'm excited about it. So dreams do come to pass.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Well, the Little Darlings have been getting ready for a while now, and this evening they're set to compete in the 32nd Annual Junior Junkanoo Parade on Bay Street. Our Anthony Smith is live in Rawson Square as the stage is set. Anthony?
Good morning once again, Bahamas. I am here right in the heart of where it's all going to happen, Rawson Square. As they say, as the saying goes, it's going down right here on Bay, and I can tell you the stage is set and the venue is fully prepared for everything, all the energy, everything that's going to happen tonight. So joining us this morning to give us a little bit of insight about the happenings, what's going down, is Mr. Gary Super Johnson, who is the Grand Marshal for this parade. Mr. Johnson, thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning. It's always glad to be here on Bay Street. It's always glad to be here to participate in Junior Junkanoo.
Now, for the second time, Junior Junkanoo is back here on Bay Street. Tell us, what can we expect for tonight?
Well, tonight, we could expect lots of excitement. Lots of excitement, especially from the preschools. We have the preschool, the primary school, all age schools, and then we have the senior schools, and we have a fun category, and we have a community group. So this year, we expect it to be, a lot of excitement. Excited. All the kids, I went down by one-on-one. I passed them the other day, and they were practicing, man, and all the little kids are very excited. I think that's going to be the really part of the parade that's going to throw this event off.
Now, of course, you said the little kids are coming first, and you saw them. They look so amazing, so ready. Tell us a little bit about the order for this parade and how it's really going to go down.
Well, we have the preschoolers that is going to be coming first. Preschoolers, then we have the primary school, we have the all-age category and the senior category. We don't have any junior categories this year, but we have the AF Valley schools that's going to be participating as a fun group. So this year, we hope that, you know, it's going to be exciting. We're going to get everybody on the parade. We have 21 schools this year. So that's 2 more than last year. And then, you know, next year is also expecting now more schools. So everybody's excited about Junior Junkanoo. You know, Junior Junkanoo is all the kids. And if you were there on Thursday to the number picking, you would hear the trash talk and you would swear you were going to see a senior parade.
Now, although there are no junior persons in that category participating tonight, you did say there are a number of schools that are expressing more interest. Why do you think that is?
Well, this, you know, for the last 2 years now, we have changed the timing of Junior Junkanoo. Junior Junkanoo is not held in December anymore because of exams and for the kids. So because of that, a lot of the schools are now freer, and the kids, you know, don't have all that stress for exams. So a lot of principals are expressing, you know, more willing. They wanted to express that they would like to be a part of Junior Junkanoo, you know, in the years moving forward.
Now, you expressed some concern, a little bit of concern about the weather, even though it's clearing up right now. But just in case, I know you have a contingency plan. Tell us about what that plan is.
Well, the contingency plan is the same thing if it rains, especially before the parades. We have tents set up in all the starting locations. We're starting from east, we're starting from the west, we're starting from the north and the south. So we're going to have tents set up on all those locations just in case it rains so that the kids will be able to take some cover. And then we're going to have tents set up also at the finish line, which will be in Kelly Dock, tents as well. So, you know, in case it rains, the kids would at least have some cover.
Now, even though these kids are in the junior category, they are by no means less than greater than the senior Junkanoo groups. So tell us, what are we looking for this evening? What are we expecting? How are they going to be judged? What's the criteria?
Well, the criteria is mostly costuming, and then we have banner and music and performance. Basically almost the same category as the senior parades. So, you know, you expect for the preschoolers, as you know, for kids, you don't know what to expect when they get on the starting line. So every year is something different, and then that's what makes them so excited and makes the parade so excited, because you don't know what to expect from the younger kids. The senior kids, you know, you could expect, you know, the normal rushing, coming down Bay Street with the good sound, all that, but the junior kids is going to be a little different.
Now, this parade is very streamlined, meaning it's moving quick, it's moving fast. Like, tell us, what are you doing to make sure that this parade moves on in a timely manner?
Well, we have a great team. We have a great team that is going to be helping in with the parade. We want to start exactly at 6 o'clock, and we want to finish within the 11 o'clock bracket so that we can catch the 11 o'clock news. So our span is from 6 to 11 to get 21 groups down Bay Street and get the results in before 11 o'clock.
Now, you've heard it here. The results come in right after this parade, so there will be no anxiety, no angst. You will hear the winners just as they deserve. For now, from Bay Street, Rawson Square, I'm Antoinette Smith. Back to you in the studio.
Well, thanks, Antoinette. Charles Fisher's already in place. Charles, tell us what's coming up in sports.
Well, just as the Junior Junkanooers will be performing tonight, we're going to tell you something about our college-based athletes. They've been doing a great job, and so we're going to showcase them this morning. So stay tuned for that. Nice to have you on the Morning Edition.
You're watching the Morning Edition. Stay with us.
Every dream needs a gentle push. Every tomorrow needs a warm embrace. Every ambition needs hope to take flight and the faith to pursue a unique goal. At Commonwealth Bank, we make it happen for you. Today, tomorrow, and into the future. Commonwealth Bank. Everything we do it for you.
Andros is the #1 bone fishing destination on our planet. Sports fishermen visit our flats every year to participate in one of the most fulfilling outdoor activities known to man, fly fishing. And guess what? It's 100% sustainable. Without areas like the west side of Andros, sustaining this industry would be absolutely impossible. So let's take care of nature, and nature will take care of us.
Good morning, everybody. Once again, for the third time this indoor track and field season, junior thrower Tiffany Hanna has been named the Northeastern Conference Field Athlete of the Week at the Boston University John Thomas Classic. She tossed the weight 56 feet 9 inches for third in the event. She spoke with ZNS Total Sports.
I would say the season has been going pretty well for me so far. Still in indoor season until around about February, early March. I'd say right now I'm definitely doing better in weight than I am in shot put. I still have a lot of things to work out in shot put with my rotation. But I do believe I'll be able to pick up on that by the time that NEC Championships rolls around. For the weight throw, I've been seeing a lot of increases, and I do attribute this mainly to technique. I've been working a lot more on actually using my legs to push the ball across my body, keeping my arms long in my turns. I'm also trying to focus on having tighter turns, and all of these just add that little bit of extra power that I need to really launch the ball as far as I can. Learning weight throw has been very interesting, but I'd say a very insightful experience for me, because that and hammer were the two events that I didn't know beforehand, but I've been doing really well with them so far. I'm very happy with that. So yeah, I think that this season will go really well. I'm ranked first for weight throw right now. Hopefully I could add to that at NEC Championships. And I feel like as I continue to work on my shot put technique, I'll also move up in the rankings there. So I'm looking forward to a good indoor season. And of course I have ECACs after that, and I'm looking forward to that too. So happy to be doing this.
Texas Longhorns freshman Kai Jones now in the starting lineup for a stellar play so far this season at 2 points, 3 rebounds in the team 62-61 win last night over TCU. Well, prior to the game, he was a special guest on Longhorns Weekly and spoke about his improvement so far this season.
I feel obviously my body, my body's improved a lot since being here, but it's mainly been mental for me, just growing mentally as a player, as a young man. Coach said before I got on campus that the key to your freshman year is how you respond when things don't go your way, and I always heard him saying it, and I was like, why does he keep thinking things aren't going to go my way? I think everything's going to go great. But when I got here, I realized, okay, yeah, that's a true statement. Like, you have to just be able to respond when things don't go your way and respond when they do. Track is much bigger in the Bahamas than basketball is, and I watch a lot of Olympic games. I was a huge Usain Bolt fan, Carl Lewis, Mike Powell. So track was much bigger back home, but I loved it more. It always was in the back of my mind because I always watch it on TV. I always loved to watch it. I always loved LeBron James, but growing up in the 6th grade, I was cut. In 7th grade, I got cut, but I was doing track at the same time. But the year that really hit me was 8th grade when I got cut, because that's when I worked the hardest. But, I love track, and I just stuck with it, but then basketball came along.
Now, is Coach Shaka Smart liking what he is seeing from the kid from the Bahamas who, yes, first love was track and field?
I don't know if I've coached a guy at 6'11" that's worked as hard as him. I don't think that I have. There's a lot of guards that just love to live in the gym. But at 6'11", Kai's ability, he gets in there early. He'll come back late at night, and he really, really loves to get in there and work on his game. The one thing about Kai that really separates him from those guys, particularly, in terms of his approach towards the game, is he really thinks of himself like a guard. And if you watch him out there working out, he does extra workouts every day. He's getting better and better at all those guard skills. But it's an evolution, and it takes time. And sometimes you can do it 1-on-0 or even 1-on-1 in a workout setting, and it takes time to get to the point where you're 5-on-5, being able to go do it on a regular basis. But over the course of the season, he's made major progress, and there's no reason that will not continue. Kai is a guy who, the combination of his work ethic and then his understanding of I've got to own the challenge in front of me right now. I'm playing maybe a different position than I played before. That's what he wants to do. And he's really sunk his teeth into that and owned that. Now he's moved into the starting lineup, and it's exciting, the growth that he's making.
Wishing Kai the best of luck. Well, Buddy Hield, after a career-high 42 on Monday, at just 13 last night on 5 for 12 shooting, once again coming off the bench in the Sacramento Kings 120-100 loss to the OKC Thunder. The Kings dropped to 17-30 on the season, and they are back on court tonight, traveling to L.A., where it should be very emotional to face the Clippers. It's the first game in Staples Center since the death of the legend Kobe Bryant. You can watch that game on NBA TV. The LA Clippers going up against the Sacramento Kings and Buddy Hield. Will he have another 42 or 50.9? Or will Kawhi Leonard take out the emotions on the Sacramento Kings? We'll all have to wait and see and stay tuned as the game is tonight at 10 o'clock. That's going to do it for sports. I'm Charles Fisher. The weather is coming up right after this break.
National parks are areas set aside to provide a natural scenic gateway into nature. There are 27 national parks managed by the Bahamas National Trust scattered throughout the Bahamas, which play a phenomenal role in helping sustain and preserve all forms of life and Bahamian livelihoods. Visit and learn more about national parks in your area. Contact the Bahamas National Trust today.
In our final look at what our satellite pictures showing, some clouds spreading over the northwest Bahamas. That's in association with a cold front that's pushing through the area, and that will trigger 1 or 2 showers as it passes. But as it moves into the central Bahamas later on, we expect some clearing over the northwest Bahamas with some cooler temperatures following. Our forecast for today calls for breezy during the morning hours, turning partly sunny with 1 or 2 showers in the mix. Your high temperature reaching 79 degrees. And tonight we are looking at near clear skies, temperature a low 61 degrees, so that's going to be nice and nippy for you Junkanooers. And the 7-day forecast unfolding like this, a couple of showers off and on into Friday, but come Saturday, there's another front that will push through, a stronger one, by the way, bringing some heavy showers and thunderstorms to parts of the northwest Bahamas, but things clearing out quite nicely on Sunday, and that will bring back those very low temperatures, low 60s, possibly some upper 50s during the nighttime. Makishna?
And that does it for our news this morning. For the morning edition, I'm Makush Lopinder. Have a fantastic Thursday.
Watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence.